warm in here to you?
I'm
Cold-blooded, okay. Okay, tonight we're talking about vitality and how to have 100% vitality by getting rid of obstructions. So you understand what I mean as we go through this seminar tonight. When we want to find out how to be healthy or how to measure health, we measure health by looking at vitality. Vitality is the way you measure health. And we use a little formula that's V equals P minus 0. Your vitality is equal to potential energy minus 0, which is obstructions. And obstructions is something that interferes with the circulation of the blood to any part of your body. And that's what we're zeroing in on tonight. To have 100% vitality, you have to do two things. You've got to put in as much energy as you take out of your body. That's the potential. We have a potential of 120 years. And we've got to put in as much as we take out. And that's a very reasonable request that our body makes of us. So that's one of the things you can do to get 120 years out of your body and 100% vitality. But you can't do it unless you're free of what we call obstructions. You can still have 60 years on your life, but die because of obstructions anytime. Because obstructions is anything that interferes with the circulation of blood. And if the blood can't get around to your cells, then your body dies. If the blood stops, you stop. And so that's a complete loss of vitality if your blood completely stops. So obstruction is anything that interferes with the circulation of blood. Another term for that would be like resistance. Something that resists would be an obstruction or slow down, whatever it might be, whether it's an electric motor or it could be your car. If you got the emergency brake on your car on, what's going to happen when you start revving up that engine and try to take off? If it's working, it's not going to go very far, is it? That's because the resistance is equal to the potential, or the energy that's in the car, in the motor of the car. The resistance is equal to that. And when your obstructions in your body equal the energy and the vitality of the body, if one equals the other, then there's no vitality and you're in trouble. So obstructions is something that we have to deal with in order to have a healthy body. It's not just getting nutrition in and so on and so forth. But let's go over those basics just so we understand and are thinking together. The energy that comes into the body, we have to put in as much energy as we take out. We put the energy into our body through breathing, which is 56% of our energy, rest, which is 24% of our energy, and then 15% of our energy comes from water, and then 5% of our energy comes from what? Food. All right? So all you have to do is breathe, get to bed every night, drink some water, and eat the right foods, and that's what your body's going to need each day in order to keep you healthy. Now the energy going out, priority goes to stress. That's number one priority, is stress on the energy going out. And then mental and physical work, the intensity of your lifestyle. That's energy that your body has to give you in order to handle the intensity of your lifestyle, the work, the thinking, as well as the physical work that you're going through each day. Then it takes energy from your body to digest and process the foods that you put into the body. And then it takes energy to clean out the obstructions that are in your body. Your body makes its own obstructions due to its chemical processes that it goes through. So it has to keep cleansing itself, and that takes energy to do that. So your breathing, rest, water, and food, energy coming in, has to equal the energy that's going out to handle the stress that's in your lifestyle. And we're going to be talking about that next month. And then it's got to handle your work, whether it's thinking or physical. It's got to be able to handle that. It's got to handle the energy it takes to process your foods. And it's going to have to handle what it takes to keep your body clean. And as long as you put in as much as you take out, then your bank account should last you 120 years.
How do you come up with 120?
120 years, where we get that is, it's true of everything that comes from a seed. Everything that comes from a seed. Like you plant tomato seed in the ground. How long does it take to come up? We pretty well know, don't we? And when it comes to maturity, if we just left it there, how long would it stay at its mature state before it dies? See, there's a life and death cycle that everything that comes from a seed goes through. You can calculate that mathematically in physics. By physics, you can calculate it. And of course, we know from experience what that should be like with a tomato seed or a cucumber seed or so on and so forth. So the body is the same way. The body goes through life and death cycles. And we don't want to get into too much detail on that because it relates to aging, but at 6 months, 20 years of age, your body changes cells every 6 months. At 40 years of age, your cells are changing every year. And when you get to be 60, your cells live to be a year and a half old. Then when you get to be 80, your cells live to be 2 years of age. Now these things we can measure. We can measure on the average now. This all doesn't happen at one time or you'd shed your skin just like a snake. You know, snake just changes skins every so often. How'd you like all your skin to come wrinkly up, get all wrinkly up, and then come off about every 6 months if you're 20, and about every year if you're 40, and you'd want to get old then, wouldn't you? But see, some of your cells at all time, in fact, a fourth of your cells at any given time is being exchanged. It's supposed to be. All right? That's the aging process. So really, this 120 years is an average, and you can use it up in 60 years or 30 years, depending on how you treat your body. But one of the laws of health requires that we put in as much energy as we take out. Okay? It's one of the laws of health. And you won't have 100% vitality, nor will you live to be 120 on the average if you do not learn how to balance your account. And if you're behind, in other words, if over the years you've been taking more energy out through your stress and work, intensity of your lifestyle, poor foods as far as digestion, and you haven't been giving your body what it needs to eliminate, then you're behind. Your bank account's overdrawn. You've been drawn from your line of credit. Now you're going to have to find some way to put some extra in and take less out, put more in to catch up if you're going to still get 120 years out of your body. All right? So some of us are going to have to learn how to deal with stress. Some of us are going to have to look at our lifestyle and see where we're too intense and begin to make cuts and so on, or learn how to deal with it more efficiently. Some of us are going to stop having to overeat. Some of us are going to have to stop eating. And some of us are going to have to drink more water, and some of us are going to have to get to bed earlier. Okay? So these are things that we all deal with, but we're not talking a lot about that tonight. What we're talking about tonight is this other law of health that we have to observe in order to get 120 years out of life. Because this law of health, called obstructions, which is anything that interferes with the circulation of blood that goes to our cells of our body, we can die at any age. If too many obstructions get in our body and it blocks that circulation, then our life could be ended at any given time, no matter how many years potentially we have in the bank account. Okay? So that's what we're zeroing in on tonight, is what are these obstructions that interfere with the circulation of the blood? What causes them? And then how can we prevent them? Okay? How can we get rid of them? And that's what we want to zero in on tonight. Okay, so first let's define these obstructions. First, let me explain to you the importance of the blood getting to the cells. Because anything that interferes with the blood getting to the cells, those cells begin to die very quickly. Very quickly. In fact, if your blood stops, what else stops when the blood stops flowing in your body? Do you know of anybody that's still breathing when their blood stops flowing? Have you ever heard of anybody breathing when their blood's completely shut off? I mean, I want to know. I've never heard of anybody that's still breathing when that circulation stops. Even if it plugged up in your leg and you had a blood clot in your leg, how long do you think you would breathe if it completely shut off the circulation? Just in the blood that goes through your leg. You'd be dead very quickly. Of course, we know what happened with a stroke, angina heart attack, pictorious heart attack. These are extremes, but they completely cut off the circulation of blood and you stop breathing. And you lose your vitality. That 56% of your energy that's coming in to give your cells what they need is stopped when the blood stopped. All right? So the interference of the circulation of the blood is an interference with the breathing. And see, it's the breath of life that makes you a living soul. And that's why the scriptures talks about the life of the flesh is in the blood. Anything that interferes with the blood is an obstruction. And we don't want those obstructions. So the life of the flesh is in the blood, is what the scripture says. What is that life that's in the blood? It's the breath of life. When our Creator made Adam's body, made it perfect, he wasn't alive. He didn't have a living soul. He wasn't a living soul. He was just a nice, perfect body. Until our Creator breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and then he became a living soul. And what is that living soul? And you look it up in the scriptures, it's nephesh. Nephesh, or psyche. It's the soul life. That's why it's not a good idea, as far as I'm concerned, to have blood transfusions. Because what are you getting when you get somebody else's blood? If the life in the blood is the soul life, what is soul life? What is the soul of a person? Anybody know what's in the soul of a person? It's their mind, their emotions, and that's usually where their volition takes place. Did Adam make any decisions before his Creator breathed into his nostrils the breath of life? Did he say to his Creator before he breathed into his nostrils, I don't think I want your breath? Couldn't make any decisions. See, the life of the flesh is in the blood. So when you get someone else's blood in a transfusion, you're getting some of their soul life. Why did he say in the scriptures not to eat the blood of animals? Just some food for thought. Okay? But anyways, in my opinion, that's not a good idea to get blood transfusions. But anything that interferes with the circulation of the blood carries the life to the cells, especially the breath of life. Not just vitamins and minerals that we get out of foods, but it carries water. Your blood is made up mostly of water. 99% of the fluid of the blood is water. Okay? So it carries these nutrients, this energy to the cells, then the cells take it and give you energy to run on with your body, to do things with your body. In order for your body to do things, it must have air, and it must have water. That's helping to carry that air around through the body to the different cells. So the circulation of the blood going through your body, it's about every 23 seconds on the average, the cell or the blood's flowing through your body. About every 23 seconds, the blood is going through your kidneys, your thyroid, through your colon, through your brain. Same blood. That's scary, isn't it? Could be scary. Okay? So the blood's going to all these different parts of your body, and it's circulating and bringing this air to all your cells. Now, what if something's interfering with it getting around? What if just in a general way, your blood just slows down to say, let's say every 26 seconds it's going around instead of every 23 seconds? Then what do you think is going to happen to your vitality? What if something is obstructing it and just generally slowing it, going to all your cells everywhere about the same amount, same rate? As the circulation slows down, you slow down because your vitality slows down, your breathing slows down. Okay? Everybody understand that? You just get a little bit cold. Hands get cold, your feet get cold when that circulation slows down on you. Now, if that circulation speeds up on you, let's say every 20 seconds it's going around, and you're not working out and you're not huffing and puffing and things like that, but you're really your circulation's just speeding up. You take your pulse and it seems going boom, 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 more than 70 some beats per second. Do you think you're going to feel warmer or when that happens? Sure, as your circulation speeds up, your temperature increases because there's more friction as your blood's circulating through your body. All right? So generally, there can be some obstructions that interfere with the circulation of the blood, and then there can be some things that speed up the circulation of the blood. But obstructions can be anything that interferes with the circulation to all of your cells, or it can be obstructions that interfere with the circulation of the blood to just certain parts of your body. And when that takes place, then that part of your body where that poor circulation is taking place doesn't do its job like it's supposed to. For example, what if there's obstructions interfering with the circulation to your eyes? Then what kind of problems do you think we're going to have to the eyes? So we got all kinds of names we can give it. Weakness, sickness, and disease takes place in the eye when there's obstructions in the eyes. And so you can be farsighted, nearsighted, You can have cataracts, glaucoma. You can have all kinds of problems in the eyes when the circulation, when there's obstructions, not letting the circulation of the blood get to the eyes. All right? This is what obstructions can do. And they might not be to the point where they actually cut off the circulation in the eyes, because then you'd go blind, wouldn't you? But there's just enough obstructions there to keep your eyes from being as healthy as they should be. So they can't focus. So if you're farsighted, you can't read close up, right? And if you're nearsighted, you can't see far distance. You can't focus far distance. Obstructions is what causes those problems. Can cause those. That's one of the reasons for it. Okay, what if there's obstructions going to your ears? You're going to have problems hearing, aren't you? Okay? You can have problems hearing different pitches. You'd be surprised the number of people that can't understand what other people are saying, especially children, and it's because their hearing range is so narrow, they catch just certain words and the other words they're missing. And we think a lot of these kids are retarded, and all it is a problem in their hearing. And obstructions can interfere with the range of hearing ability, as well as sounds, certain, whether it's loud or whether it's soft, Some people have problems hearing one side or the other. Some people can hear a soft little sound, but boy, someone could be yelling their head off and they can't hear it. Okay? So there's a lot of hearing problems due to obstructions. And of course we think of obstructions without earwax. That would be an obstruction, right? So you could have outer ear obstructions, you could have inner ear obstructions. So we have a lot of names that we can give to ear problems, which could be due to nothing but obstructions. What if your pancreas is obstructed and the circulation of the blood is not able to let the energies get to the cells of the pancreas? Now the pancreas has the responsibility of helping to regulate your blood sugar to make sure it doesn't go too high and end up being diabetes. It works with your thyroid to help regulate your temperature by how much alcohol your body produces. Your body's supposed to produce 1 drop of alcohol for every 100 pounds for every half hour. What if you had to just measure out how much to drink to do that? Think what the body's got to do if someone's drinking and they're getting 8 ounces of drops of alcohol when it's supposed to only have 1 drop for every 100 pounds. Think of what the body's got to do to help compensate for that. Pretty tough, huh? But let's say the pancreas can't do its job because there's obstructions interfering with it. Well, if the pancreas can't regulate the amount of alcohol, then you can be too cold or too hot. Or your sugar could go up because it's obstructing it from producing enough insulin, then it lets your sugar go too high, or it might obstruct it in a way that makes it overproduce insulin, shoot too much insulin in the blood, and then the sugar goes too low. So you could have hypoglycemic, sugar high, you could have sugar up and down, moodiness, you could have schizophrenic, up and down, you could have epileptic seizures, down, and because your pancreas is obstructed. So we need to know what these obstructions are, don't we? And if we have any in our body, we need to learn what to do to get them out of the body so that these organs can get the energies that they need to do their job again. Now you can have obstructions in the bowel. We think of constipation. This is more the external system of the body. You can have obstruction in your sinuses. You could have obstructions in your lungs. You can have swollen feet, obstructions in your feet. Your ring could be tight. You could have obstructions in your hands and have swelling there. You could have obstructions out here. You're gaining weight, and so you put some of them out in the hips. That's better than your lungs, isn't it? Better have obstructions here. A lot of people go on these weight loss diets, and so they take the obstructions out here, or they get these big suction guns, you know. Just suck that out, suck those old obstructions out that's stored out here. You ever hear people doing that? What do they call that? Tummy tucking? Hypo? Suction? Liposuction. Okay? So there's a lot of ways that we're trying to compensate for these problems, but why is that storing out here? These obstructions. It's because it's safer out here than in your lungs or your heart or your arteries. If you were in control of the body and you were programmed to, you're the one that was programming the body what to do, and you're taking in too many obstructions, or too many obstructions were building up and they weren't getting out, where would you want to store them? I think it's a pretty good idea to store them out here, right?
We don't have a choice, do we?
No, the body doesn't have a choice, but we can do things that won't let it store out here. A lot of people, more people are hurting their bodies today, and they look just perfect weight. But what they're doing to keep their weight is they're not letting it store out here. They're pushing it inside because they're not dealing with the cause of the obstructions, and they're not having their body get rid of it. All they're doing is sucking out the water. All right? So we're doing a lot of harm to our bodies by not learning what causes these obstructions and what to do to eliminate them. So that's what we want to zero in on. That's what I'm trying to get you, your mindset in the direction of dealing with the cause. We always think in symptoms. I got this symptom. I got this problem. Well, one of the things we got to look at is it an obstruction problem? And if it is, what can we do to help the body? What's causing it? And we need to stop causing it and continuing to allow that cause to take place, and then we're going to have to do something about helping the body get rid of that cause, and then the symptoms disappear. Whether it's overweight, or whether it's obstructions out here stored, or it's obstructions in different parts of the organs or glands of your body, the body wants to get rid of them more than you want to get rid of them. It don't want them in there. So wherever it's storing it, it's storing these obstructions in the safest place possible under the circumstances. Give your body some credit. I mean, when our Creator made these bodies, I have to believe He knew what He was doing. I think He can do a better job with the program that He put in here than what